Coach, if you want to just start us off with an opening statement.
Good, another good conference win. Obviously, it's that's a very good team, talented team. They do a lot of good things. Right, those are some fun matchups to watch if you really like basketball. You're looking at their guard number one, little guy who's playing against Bubba Parham, who aren't the biggest guys. So it's fun to watch that matchup. Obviously, I'm not the best with names of every single player. I'm a numbers guy. Number two is such a dynamic player. He reminds you kind of a Jaden Campbell type player. You saw their 4s and 5s. They're just guys that battle and are tough, and so those matchups with Jermaine and Dye were really fun to watch. So just from a basketball perspective, just the matchups was pretty interesting to watch. We didn't play probably the most crisp offensive game, but there was times in that game where it got electric in there. And when we got had a steal here and some threes there in the second half, and that place was exploding, that was a lot of fun. So happy we came away with a win. You got to be able to win in a lot of different ways, but I'm really happy that we had Quez come back in this game, and I thought he played really well. He's really worked hard to come back. We didn't put him out there before he needed to. We worked his way back into this, and I thought he was awesome. And it's so hard when you come back and you've been out and you want to play team basketball. And you don't even do it intentionally sometimes. It's just you're so happy to play that you'll look up and you'll squeeze off bad shot, try to do too much. And he was just all team. But what a treat to have him back for those fans that got to watch that. That was really cool. So happy with our group going on the road here for 3 games, and got to continue our 3-0 on the road right now. We'd love to come back here 6-0 for our next one.
I did think Quez looked very unselfish. Even you would think he would, anytime he get the ball, try to shoot just to get back in like a rhythm. But he had some great passes. He was looking to find his big guys, and I'm sure as a coach, that's good for you to see, to have one of your leaders come back after sitting out for so long and just be unselfish. Yeah,
it's phenomenal. It's just great to see it. Just a level of talent. He hadn't been able to go and have a ton of practice time, more rehab. But that's a special talent to be able to come back after sitting out that long and be able to make those touch shots that he made. So and I've kind of hated it because we've had such a great turnout with our crowd, and he's such a fun player to watch, right? So our team is just a great team to watch. They've got just a bunch of great personalities and just different games, right? You got Bubba Parham, who may shoot a 30-footer. You got Quez Glover, who one of the best one-on-one players in the league. You got Logan Dye and Jermaine Marshall, who, if you know basketball or don't know basketball, you understand heart, and you see that. You got Jaden Campbell, who looks like he's not even trying. I don't know if the kid's ever broke a sweat, and he'll knock in 3 threes. I could go on and on about every player. So it's a fun team to coach. And we got 4 more home games, and I hope that all of Birmingham gets to come out and watch these guys in those 4 games, because they're a treat to coach and a treat to watch.
Getting Quez back too, you essentially almost have 2 point guards on the floor that can handle the ball if you have him and Bubba out there, and just like rotating him in. How does that help your team, having that amount of players that can be playmakers on the court?
Yeah, well, we've had to play slower than we like to play without Quez and kind of take advantage of different mismatches. It was good tonight to get back and be able to push the ball, so I think we're going to get more and more comfortable doing that. But when you can space the floor and put the ball in guards' hands, and they can create an advantage over and over, it makes life easier as a coach. At the end of the day, you can call it whatever you want. We just spaced him with high ball screen for Quez, and he would be him. And that's the fun part about having that guy. Doesn't take a rocket scientist to understand sometimes where that ball needs to go when he's playing well. So I'm glad he's back, and I'll tell you this much. I mentioned this earlier this year, that we were going through some tough times. We had some big injuries, and Quez was out, and we struggled, but lost a bunch of close games. We had to learn to play without him. But I said at the time we will actually be a better team that this has happened to us, because some of these players who wouldn't get these minutes are going to be in these spots where they're going to have to get used to being on that floor. And now that we're getting everybody back, I think that you're going to see, probably take maybe a game or 2 to get everybody back acclimated to Q being out there. But I think it's a net positive for our team this time of year going forward.
You brought up.
Yeah, Ron.
No, you brought up it's been a fun team. It would have been a fun team. We're on a winning streak at that. How does that feel, just being able to coach that?
Yeah, right. We were going through league play. We've played every team but one, and we're 8-0. So we beat every team in the league last year. That says something about our group. I'm not sure if we're the only. I think we're the only. Maybe one other team beat every team in the league last year. But it says something about our group. They're adaptable. They play with a lot of heart. When they get to league play, they're not taking nights off. So it says a lot. And we have a real cool thing going here. When you look at conference win streaks, there's not a lot of teams out there in the country that have remained unbeaten in non-conference. That means that you are adaptable, and that means that we are coming ready to play. So we got to continue to do that. One of the things in our locker room we talked about before the game was there's no continuing for success. Just because we played well last game doesn't mean we're going to play well this game. Or we won last game has nothing to do with winning this game. So the key is that we continue to do the things that helped us be good, which is incredible effort, playing unselfish, and playing with confidence. And everybody, when I say being unselfish, everybody getting over themselves. That's not easy to say. Some nights, Bubba Parham went with ETSU the other night. Great shooter, one of the best shooters in the league. He got 2 shots. 2 shots. But he held their best player to 4 points. And he guarded that night like he didn't care if he had any shots. That says something about who you are. That's what I'm talking about being unselfish. A lot of guys won't play that hard on defense in the full court because they're worried about their offensive game. They want to conserve for offense. And that's another part of being unselfish. And I think we got guys, I hate to say bought in, but everybody on the same mission, everybody playing by the same rules, which is our number one, the rules we're playing by is we want to do things to make us successful and win basketball games. Not every locker room can say that, right? Some you may have half want to win a basketball game, the other half want to get theirs, right? And so when you have that and everybody's playing by the same rules, it's a fun locker room to be in.